I'm not going to waste your time. You've had enough of that already. People feeding you empty motivation, vague affirmations, and hollow promises that never put $1 extra in your pocket or 1 ounce of clarity in your mind. You've read the books, listened to the speeches, tried to stay positive, yet you're still standing in the same place. You don't need another sermon on hope. You need a system that works. You don't need more noise, and you need order. Most advice tells you to believe, but never tells you how to think. That's why it fails. Belief without structure collapses. Desire without direction burns out. What I'm about to give you is not inspiration. It is alignment. This will work because it's built on law. The mind that is organized attracts results with the precision of mathematics. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions move in one straight line, prosperity must follow. Step Sha'in, align your thought current, the law of mental direction. Every failure I have ever witnessed, every wasted life and abandoned dream began with one cause: mental drift. Men imagine they are thinking when in truth they are merely remembering. They react to yesterday's impressions, to the gossip of the crowd, to fear disguised as reason. The mind that is not directed is a leaf in the wind, tossed between hope and despair, never resting upon purpose. Your thought is your first tool. It is the chisel that carves every circumstance you will meet. To leave it untrained is to surrender the throne of your destiny. The mind must be ruled, shaped, and organized as carefully as a craftsman arranges his instruments before work begins. For disorder in the mind creates disorder in life. Thought, like electricity, must follow a circuit. A broken wire cannot carry current. A broken purpose cannot carry power. The universe answers definiteness as a bell answers touch. You must know what you desire, declare it, and sustain it daily until the invisible becomes visible. Every hour you spend in uncertainty is an hour your current leaks into confusion. I have said often that indecision is the father of delay, and fear its loyal servant. The man who cannot decide spends his days waiting for a sign while the world moves on without him. Decision organizes energy. When you say, "This I shall do," the forces of your mind assemble, your nerves align, your will becomes commander. But when you waver, the army of thought dissolves. When Thomas Edison set his heart upon producing light from electricity, he did not ask whether the task was possible. He decided it would be done and adjusted his life to that purpose. He failed thousands of times, yet every failure was movement within the same direction. His mind was a steady current. That is why nature yielded her secret to him. She rewards the definite. The law of mental direction demands obedience. The man who changes his aim with each mood creates inner civil war. One day he believes in abundance, the next he feeds fear. One morning he begins a plan. By evening he questions his ability. He moves 2 steps forward and 3 back. The universe reads his signal as confusion and returns confusion in kind. You cannot attract wealth or harmony while your mind quarrels within itself. The world answers you according to the vibration you send. If you say, "I desire riches," but secretly doubt your worthiness, you cancel your command. Infinite intelligence deals in clarity, not contradiction. Begin each day, therefore, with what I call the daily directive. Upon waking, write a single clear statement of intention for the day. Do not fill pages with wishes. Write one definite purpose. It might be, "Today I advance my work with faith and precision." Read it aloud, feel its meaning, and keep it before you as a compass. You will soon discover that your mind, once loyal only to distraction, begins to obey. A soldier learns discipline by daily drill. The mind learns obedience the same way. Each morning's directive strengthens its loyalty to your command. After weeks of practice, your thought will march in line with purpose instead of wandering into fear. And as thought aligns, circumstance aligns with it, for the outer follows the inner as surely as a shadow follows form. Henry Ford demonstrated this law perfectly. He organized his mind before he organized his machines. While others debated the impossibility of a motor car for the common man, he had already built it in thought. His mind ran like a well-designed engine, each idea timed, each part serving the whole. Because his thought was orderly, men, money, and materials fell into place. Contrast him with the man of scattered thought. One day he dreams of invention. The next he doubts his capacity. He begins projects without finishing them, makes promises without intention to keep them, prays for results while thinking defeat. His life becomes a collection of fragments. The law cannot reward such disorder, for law serves only those who imitate it. You must understand, order attracts order. Infinite intelligence recognizes itself wherever it finds harmony. When your inner life reflects structure, the outer world mirrors it through opportunity. When you are confused, the world withdraws its cooperation, for confusion offends the law of balance that governs all creation. Train your thought to hold a single picture until it matures into form. Most men uproot their mental seeds before they sprout. They plant today's idea and dig it up tomorrow to see if it grows. The farmer does not do this. He trusts the soil. So must you trust the law of growth once you have impressed your desire upon the mind. You may protest, "But my thoughts are too many, my mind too restless." Then I say, begin small. Direct it for 5 minutes. Hold one thought without interruption. When distraction intrudes, return gently. Do this daily, and the mind will learn as surely as a child learns discipline from a loving teacher. No act of self-training is wasted. Each moment of control builds the muscle of mastery. It is a sacred act, this organizing of the mind. When you unite thought, desire, and will into one current, you align the conscious with the subconscious. Then infinite intelligence can work through you without resistance. Disorder repels inspiration as static repels clear sound. Order invites it. You cannot hear guidance in the clamor of contradiction. I have met men whose mere presence communicated assurance. They did not speak loudly, yet others leaned in when they spoke. They did not rush, yet everything around them moved efficiently. Their secret was inner order. The world trusts those who trust their own direction. When your thought is organized, you will notice how people respond. They will sense reliability in you, though they cannot name its cause. They will bring you ideas, seek your counsel, entrust you with opportunity. For the organized mind radiates calm authority. It becomes a center of gravity around which lesser minds revolve. Let us be clear, order is not rigidity. The river flows, but within its banks. Flexibility without direction is chaos. Direction without flexibility is tyranny. You must learn balance, the firmness of plan with the grace of adaptation. Discipline your thought, but never harden it. Permit imagination its freedom, but channel that freedom toward a single end. A ship without a rudder is not free, it is lost. The rudder does not hinder movement, it gives meaning to it. So does definite thought give purpose to imagination. I have seen men labor furiously with no result because they lacked this inner organization. Their energy scattered like sparks in the wind. But the man who aligns thought with purpose is like the blacksmith who harnesses fire to forge steel. One burns, the other builds. When you begin to master this law, you will feel a quiet power awakening. Doubt will lose its voice. Decisions that once took hours will take moments. You will find that time itself expands for the organized thinker. He accomplishes in a day what the disordered cannot in a week, for he wastes no motion. Remember always that repetition is the path to mastery. You cannot direct the mind once and call yourself organized. The mind, like the body, must be trained through exercise. The musician practices daily to keep his instrument in tune. You must do the same with your thought. Each night, review your day. Ask, did I hold my directive? Did my thought obey or wander? If it wandered, gently bring it back tomorrow. Never condemn yourself. Correction is progress. The law respects persistence more than perfection. Affirm these truths until they become the pulse of your being. My thought is my compass. It points always toward purpose. Each day I establish a definite direction and pursue it faithfully. I am guided by infinite intelligence because I am organized within. Speak them aloud, not as empty words, but as living law. Feel the strength behind them. With each repetition, the subconscious accepts their command. Soon you will act not from struggle, but from instinct, for habit is merely thought made automatic. As your mind aligns, opportunity will begin to move toward you. Doors that once closed will open of their own accord. People who once ignored you will notice. You will seem fortunate, but fortune is only organized thought made visible. You will discover that confidence replaces anxiety. You will walk calmly amid confusion, speak clearly amid noise, decide swiftly amid delay. Others will ask your secret, and you will smile, for you know it is no secret at all. It is law obeyed. I tell you plainly, order, not enthusiasm, builds miracles. Enthusiasm is the spark, order is the furnace. Without structure, even the brightest flame dies. But with structure, even the smallest spark becomes a lasting fire. Do not seek to organize the world until you have organized your own thought. The mind is the workshop of creation. Its products fill your life. When you govern that workshop with law and precision, you cooperate with the infinite itself. And when your thought moves in one straight line of purpose, prosperity must follow as night follows day. Hold this conviction as sacred. The mind that is organized attracts results with the precision of mathematics. Align your thought current, and the universe will flow in its rhythm. You will no longer chase success, it will orbit around you. Step 2, govern the inner kingdom, the discipline of emotional law. No man is free who has not conquered himself. The first battle of life is not fought with armies or markets or circumstance. It is fought within the walls of one's own heart. A man may organize his thought and build a plan as perfect as a geometric design, yet if emotion runs wild through his nature, that plan will crumble like sand under storm. For reason is the architect, but emotion is the builder. When the builder rebels, the structure falls. You must come to see emotion as sacred power, not as weakness. Fear, anger, desire, enthusiasm, these are the currents of divine energy that animate thought. But without discipline, they destroy more than they create. Emotion, like fire, can light a home or burn it to ashes. It is not the flame that is dangerous, but the man who does not control it. I tell you that the mind is a kingdom. Thought is the king. Emotion, his loyal minister. When the minister obeys the king, the realm prospers. When the minister overthrows his ruler, anarchy prevails. In most men, the kingdom lies in ruin. They have allowed passion to command policy, fear to dictate action, and temper to destroy alliance. They are subjects, not sovereigns, in their own minds. To govern yourself is to take back the throne. You must rule your moods as firmly as you rule your schedule. A man who wakes cheerful and sleeps hopeless has not yet discovered mastery. His emotions are his weather, not his choice. But you, if you would rise, must no longer be a barometer of circumstance. You must become the sun around which conditions revolve. Understand this: No mind, however brilliant, can attract prosperity if its emotions are disordered. The discontented repel assistance. The resentful drive away opportunity. The irritable waste energy on trifles while fortune passes them by. But the man who radiates calmness and good cheer magnetizes both men and events to serve him. Let us consider Abraham Lincoln, a man acquainted with sorrow deeper than most can bear. He endured insult, betrayal, and the crushing burdens of leadership, yet he never surrendered his composure. His secret lay not in denial of emotion, but in mastery of it. When others raged, he listened. When others cursed, he forgave. His calmness under fire was not coldness, but strength, power under command. When you discipline emotion, you multiply energy. A calm mind works 10 times faster than a confused one. Anger and excitement consume vitality like a leaking furnace. But serenity preserves force. The calm man does not rush. He directs. He speaks less and accomplishes more because his energy flows in a single stream rather than 100 trickles. Emotion is divine energy seeking expression. Fear, anger, or enthusiasm are but signals of power asking to be harnessed. The wise man converts them into achievement. The foolish man wastes them in noise. When you feel anger, pause. Ask yourself, how can I use this fire for creation? Perhaps you will work harder, improve a method, prove your faith through action. That is transmutation, turning heat into light. When fear visits, greet it as a messenger. It often points to the area of your greatest potential. The coward runs, the wise man studies. He dissects fear until it reveals its lesson. Once understood, fear dissolves into foresight. And foresight is one of the greatest powers in commerce, in art, in leadership. Every emotion has its proper use. Desire initiates motion. Enthusiasm sustains it. Faith directs it. Love beautifies it. Discipline completes it. The untrained mind lets these energies clash. The trained mind orchestrates them as a symphony. Remember George Washington in the chill of Valley Forge. His men were hungry, their cause uncertain, yet he maintained composure. He walked among them with measured step, speaking little, radiating conviction. His calm was not the absence of fear, it was its conquest. That mastery preserved a nation. You may believe emotional control is dullness. That passion must be loud to be real. I tell you otherwise. A river held between banks flows deeper and stronger than a flood that destroys everything in its path. Restraint is not suppression. It is intelligent direction. Emotion held under law becomes genius. Charles Schwab possessed this genius. He could manage thousands of men without raising his voice. His secret was a cheerful tone and unbroken patience. While others ruled through fear, he ruled through emotional order. Men worked gladly for him because he lifted their spirits instead of draining them. That serenity, more than his technical skill, built his fortune. I ask you now, who governs your inner kingdom? Do you let criticism sour your mood? Do you yield to irritation when plans fail? Do you allow disappointment to become despair? If so, you are ruled by emotion, not reason. The moment you recognize this, take back command. Speak to yourself as a ruler speaks to his army. Peace. Be still. I will decide what I feel. You may think such control unnatural, but recall the body obeys the mind. So too can emotion. Practice by small acts. When annoyance rises, smile. When fear whispers, breathe. When desire tempts to haste, wait. Each act of self-command adds another brick to the fortress of calmness. Do not confuse this mastery with coldness. The disciplined man feels deeply, but he channels his feeling into construction. He does not weep when wronged, he works. He does not boast when praised, he thanks. He does not tremble when challenged, he acts. His heart is alive, but it beats in rhythm with his purpose. Prosperity is a climate, first emotional, then material. The peaceful man invites cooperation. His tone inspires confidence. His presence calms dispute. Such a man will always attract opportunity because he represents safety. Others trust him instinctively, sensing that his judgment is not clouded by passion. Practice daily what I call emotional organization. Spend 10 minutes in quiet each morning to feel gratitude. Gratitude is the harmonizer of emotion. It aligns desire with faith. No man can remain fearful while counting blessings. Then before sleep, forgive all who offended you. Forgiveness restores energy. Resentment drains it. Thus you end each day free from disturbance. If ever anger rises, convert it into labor. Clean, build, study, or write. Let energy find direction rather than explosion. Remember, emotion is raw power. Do not suppress it. Govern it. You will know mastery when provocation no longer disturbs your peace, when you can hear insult and remain kind, when you can face delay and remain diligent. Then you have become king of yourself. Affirm these truths until they become nature itself. I command my emotions, they obey my will. Anger becomes action. Fear becomes foresight. My calmness is my strength. My balance is my wealth. Infinite intelligence works through me because I am emotionally steady. Say them often and with feeling. Repetition molds emotion as surely as it molds thought. The mind believes what it hears persistently. The more you affirm calm mastery, the more natural it becomes. In time, others will perceive the change. They will note that your temper no longer flares, that your tone soothes instead of stings. They will come to you in difficulty, for they trust your composure. Your emotional balance will become your signature. Then prosperity will flow to you not as luck, but as response. For the world seeks leaders, and leadership is emotional maturity in motion. He who governs himself can guide others. He who cannot is a danger to all he leads. So govern the inner kingdom. Rule your moods with wisdom and love. Let emotion serve as faithful minister, not as usurper. You were made to command power, not to be consumed by it. When thought is king and feeling his loyal servant, the kingdom of your life shall prosper without end. Step 3, systemize your habits, the architecture of action. Every idea, no matter how noble, dies unborn without system. A man may think brilliantly and feel deeply, yet if his conduct is without structure, his powers cancel one another. Thought is the seed, emotion the moisture. Habit is the soil in which the seed must grow. Without organized action, purpose is a castle in the air, suspended in dream, never touching earth. I tell you plainly, chance is a mask worn by law. Men speak of fortune when they cannot see the pattern beneath events. Every enduring success rests upon invisible scaffolding built of daily habit. If you would attract prosperity, you must build that scaffolding with your own disciplined hands. For prosperity, like all divine gifts, visits the prepared. Let us examine why so few achieve mastery. The majority begin with enthusiasm but end in fatigue. They mistake inspiration for progress. They set goals, make promises, then relapse into old confusion. It is not malice that defeats them, but lack of structure. They light a fire of desire but forget to tend it. Without system, enthusiasm burns itself out and leaves only smoke. Observe Andrew Carnegie. He began poor with no advantage except order. He organized every task. He scheduled every hour. He wrote lists, reports, and instructions until his work ran like a clock. While others boasted of talent, he built a method. His fortune was the visible reflection of his inner precision. Habit is law in motion. Each act repeated becomes a groove in the mind. Soon the body follows it without command. This is the secret of all greatness, to build grooves that lead toward purpose. The untrained man wastes willpower each morning deciding what he must do. The organized man decides once, and habit carries him forward thereafter. Nature herself operates by rhythm. The tide flows and withdraws in order. The planets revolve by law. The heart beats in pattern. Why then should man, the highest of creation, live in chaos? To live without system is to rebel against the harmony of the universe. The man who aligns his habits with cosmic order partakes of its power. I tell the listener, build what I call your architecture of action. Choose a fixed hour for rising, for planning, for labor, for rest. Write your schedule and keep it as a covenant with yourself. Make your environment obey the law of purpose. Clean your desk, arrange your tools. Place before you only what serves your aim. When outer order reflects inner order, productivity becomes peace. At first, routine may feel confining, but soon it becomes liberation. The artist paints freely because the canvas provides boundaries. The musician creates melody because rhythm provides law. Likewise, the man of system achieves freedom because he no longer fights confusion. John D. Rockefeller lived by this truth. He recorded every cent, every hour, every plan. While competitors moved by impulse, he advanced by structure. His patience looked slow to others, but it was the pace of certainty. He did not gamble with chance. He cooperated with law. That is why his wealth endured when others' fortunes vanished. Understand this. Success does not come from one great act, but from thousands of small ones repeated with care. Habit is the bridge between thought and result. To practice daily what aligns with your purpose is to build that bridge stone by stone until it spans the gulf between dream and reality. I often meet men who say, I cannot keep to routine, it bores me. I answer, then your aim is too small. The man who sees his goal as divine finds joy in repetition, for he knows each act advances him. Repetition is not drudgery, it is devotion. The blacksmith striking his anvil, the writer at his desk, the merchant balancing accounts, all are priests of purpose when they work with order. Learn to convert repetition into ritual. A ritual is not empty habit. It is conscious alignment with law. When you perform your daily work with reverence, even the ordinary becomes sacred. You do not wash your hands. You cleanse your instrument. You do not write plans. You commune with destiny. System practiced with faith becomes worship. There is danger, however, in mechanical living. Routine without awareness is slavery. The purpose of system is not to kill spirit, but to guide it. You must remain awake within your habits, remembering always that they serve you, not rule you. Change them when they cease to serve your higher design. I advise keeping a personal code of conduct, a short list of guiding principles to govern action. Examples: I complete every task I begin. I arrive early and prepared. I speak truth without fear. I act today. Read this code each morning. It becomes your invisible architecture of character. Through consistent habit, the subconscious learns obedience. Each repeated act engraves faith deeper. Soon effort becomes ease. Struggle becomes flow. You find yourself working without resistance, for you have organized not only your schedule, but your very nature. Others will notice. They will say you are dependable. They will seek your counsel. They will trust your word. For the world honors consistency as proof of integrity. The disorganized man is pitied or ignored. The organized man is respected and obeyed. Remember Henry Ford. His factories operated with simplicity and order because his mind did. He eliminated waste in thought before he eliminated it in production. Each part had purpose, each motion meaning. That inner system turned labor into harmony and made him master of an age. Affirm these truths daily. My habits are servants of my purpose. Order multiplies my power. Each act of discipline builds my freedom. I live according to rhythm, not reaction. Repeat them until your hands move in rhythm with your thoughts. For every affirmation impresses the subconscious, and the subconscious, once trained, never forgets. In time, you will discover that your system frees you for creativity. Because you no longer waste energy deciding trivial matters, your mind remains clear for vision. Routine guards genius as a wall guards a garden. Without the wall, weeds invade. With it, blossoms grow undisturbed. When difficulty arises, your system will hold you steady. While others panic, you will continue your pattern of action. That constancy is power. Success seldom belongs to the most gifted. It belongs to the most organized. And so I counsel you, choose today to live by law. Establish order in the smallest things until order becomes your nature. Sweep your desk, keep your word, finish your work, respect your time. Do this not to impress others, but to honor the infinite mind that created you for purpose. When at last your day runs by law, your life will answer by prosperity. For the universe cooperates with those who mirror its precision. Chaos repels wealth. Order attracts it. To organize your habits is to organize the very flow of fortune toward you. Remember this truth. Habit is destiny made visible. Whatever you repeat becomes your reality. Build your habits as a builder lays foundation. Carefully, layer upon layer, until they can bear the weight of your dreams. Then even when you are gone, your system will remain, and others will walk the path you paved through discipline. Step 4. Unite with masterminds. The law of harmonious cooperation. No organized mind is complete in isolation. No man, however wise, however disciplined, can multiply his power until he joins it with the right minds. A single battery holds limited charge. Link it with others of equal strength and direction, and the current becomes unstoppable. So it is with men. Individual effort begins success, but harmonious alliance completes it. There exists an invisible law that governs this principle, the law of harmonious cooperation. When two or more minds unite in a spirit of agreement and purpose, a third mind is formed. This mind is intangible, yet it is real. It is a spiritual energy greater than the sum of its parts. I call it the mastermind. It is the secret dynamo behind every empire, every invention, every enduring movement in human history. The tragedy of life is that men insist upon working alone, fearing to share credit, wisdom, or faith. Pride isolates them, envy blinds them, suspicion breaks the circuit. Yet nature itself is cooperative. The sun gives to the earth feeds the seed nourishes man. The universe advances by partnership. To reject cooperation is to rebel against the law of progress. Think of Thomas Edison and Henry Ford. Each possessed genius, but together they possessed something more, an energy multiplied through friendship. They exchanged ideas, sharpened each other's vision, challenged and encouraged one another. Their companionship was not competition, it was completion. From their unity came inventions that shaped the destiny of nations. The first step in forming a mastermind alliance is harmony of purpose. Two men may share a goal, yet if their motives conflict, discord will poison their union. Select only those whose desires align with yours, whose hearts are guided by integrity. Do not mistake enthusiasm for character. The world is full of men who promise brilliance but deliver confusion. Better one steady ally than a dozen fickle followers. When Andrew Carnegie was building his empire, he surrounded himself with men of ability, not flattery. He said, "I owe my fortune chiefly to my power to bring together men of ability who could work together in harmony." That statement was not modesty, it was law. He understood that each man carried a different fragment of intelligence, and when fitted together, they formed a machine greater than any single part. This cooperation begins with the right attitude. Approach every alliance with a spirit of service, not hunger for gain. Ask, "How may I contribute?" rather than, "What shall I receive?" Service opens the channel of reciprocity. When you give freely of your ability, others give in return. But he who enters partnership to exploit finds his own purpose devoured. You must also learn the delicate art of individuality within unity. Cooperation does not demand surrender of thought, but harmony of intention. The finest orchestra is not made of identical instruments, but of different voices tuned to the same key. So in the mastermind, each member brings his unique tone, yet all play one melody. To achieve this harmony, cultivate humility. The arrogant repel cooperation as vinegar repels oil. You must listen as much as you speak, value truth more than victory, and accept correction without resentment. The mastermind cannot dwell in prideful hearts. Infinite intelligence flows only through channels cleared of vanity. Consider Abraham Lincoln. He chose as his advisors men who had once opposed him. He did not fear their difference. He trusted their integrity. From that diversity arose strength, for each brought a new angle of vision. Where lesser men would have sought agreement through flattery, Lincoln sought unity through purpose. His leadership was not domination, but orchestration. When you surround yourself with men of sound judgment and upright spirit, their energy strengthens your own. You draw courage from their faith, wisdom from their experience, inspiration from their belief. Your thought rises to match their level, and in return, your own energy uplifts them. The alliance becomes a living circulation of power. But you must also guard against false alliance, companionship born of laziness, gossip, or mere social comfort. Many waste their evenings among those who weaken their will and call it friendship. Association is influence. You become like those with whom you spend your hours. Choose, therefore, companions who remind you of your vision, not your weakness. The right alliance refines your character. Working with honorable minds demands that you raise your own conduct. Dishonesty cannot thrive in the company of integrity. Laziness feels ashamed before diligence. The circle you keep becomes the mirror of your spirit. Surround yourself with mediocrity, and excellence will seem arrogance. Surround yourself with greatness, and mediocrity will become impossible. Charles Schwab, the great steel magnate, exemplified this law. He possessed no genius for invention, yet he gathered around him the most skilled minds in metallurgy and business. His charm was his cooperation. He created unity among thousands through goodwill and understanding. His presence inspired confidence because he respected every man's contribution. That respect returned to him as loyalty, and loyalty produced profit. The mastermind extends beyond men to the infinite itself. When your thought is attuned to the divine law of harmony, you form the highest partnership with the intelligence that governs the stars. In quiet prayer or meditation, you may feel this alliance as guidance, intuition, or sudden insight. What you call inspiration is often the voice of that greater mind speaking through you. To maintain harmony within your circle, follow these simple but powerful rules. Keep criticism constructive, never destructive. Praise publicly, correct privately. Never let jealousy or vanity enter discussion. Be punctual and prepared, for disorder offends the law of cooperation. Honor your word. A single broken promise weakens the bond. Rejoice in another's success as proof that the law works for all. As these habits become your nature, the alliance strengthens until it feels almost supernatural. You will find that ideas come faster, courage grows steadier, obstacles shrink before combined faith. Each member becomes the custodian of the other's dreams. That is the unseen miracle of unity. Affirm these truths until they are woven into your conduct. I attract minds that strengthen my purpose. Through service, I draw support from the law of harmony. Unity multiplies my vision. Infinite intelligence guides my associations. Speak them with conviction. They are more than affirmations. They are declarations of law. When you believe them, the right allies will appear. You will meet a man who shares your ideals, a woman who complements your skill, a mentor who opens a door. These are not accidents. They are answers to your vibration. Be mindful also that harmony must be maintained through continual adjustment. Even loyal allies may drift into discord if communication ceases. Keep the channel clear through honesty and gratitude. Express appreciation often. It costs nothing and returns abundance. Some will ask, "What of those who betray my trust?" I answer, forgive and move forward. Resentment binds you to the very energy that harmed you. The law of harmony works only through release. Do not fight darkness. Light another lamp. The right companions will soon replace the false, for truth always attracts its own. The man of cooperative spirit is admired and trusted. His reputation spreads quietly. People say of him, "He works well with all men." Opportunities seek him because all enterprises hunger for harmony. Employers value him, partners rely upon him, and friends treasure him. He becomes indispensable, not through cunning, but through the rare virtue of goodwill. Cooperation multiplies power. 10 men pulling separately achieve little. 10 pulling in rhythm can move mountains. When you organize minds in unity, their combined energy becomes magnetic. Plans that seemed impossible begin to materialize. Coincidences appear, introductions occur, money flows, obstacles dissolve. These are not miracles. They are mathematics. The equation is simple. Harmony equals multiplication of energy. If you doubt this, test it. Gather 3 sincere associates. Meet weekly in the spirit of faith and mutual advancement. Share ideas, study principles, affirm success for one another. You will soon notice that your courage increases, your vision sharpens, and your progress accelerates. That is the mastermind in action. The wise man never travels alone, for he knows that isolation breeds limitation. Pride says, "I need no one." Wisdom replies, "Together we become more than we are." Even the greatest leaders have counselors. Even the richest minds have partners. To unite with other organized minds is not dependency. It is strategy in accordance with law. When infinite intelligence observes harmony among men, it invests them with greater power, for it knows they will use it constructively. That is why discord always leads to downfall. Kingdoms collapse when divided. Families weaken when quarreling. Enterprises fail when jealousy replaces unity. But where agreement dwells, abundance multiplies. Therefore, practice harmony not only in business, but in every relation: home, friendship, community. Be the presence that calms conflict. Let your speech be gentle, your tone respectful, your heart generous. The law of cooperation rewards the peacemaker with strength, for strength and peace are 2 sides of the same coin. Remember that even your relationship with infinite intelligence is a mastermind alliance. You provide the faith, it provides the power. You supply the plan, it supplies the opportunity. But only when harmony exists between your will and its wisdom can results appear. Prayer is partnership. Faith is agreement. When you master this step, your world will change subtly yet profoundly. Men will seek your presence as they seek sunlight on cold mornings. They will feel stronger after speaking with you. Conflicts will dissolve when you enter a room, not because of magic, but because harmony recognizes itself in you. In the end, you will see that cooperation is not merely a business law, it is a spiritual law. It is God's method of multiplication. To work together in peace is to imitate the order of the heavens. When you unite your organized mind with others of like spirit, you mirror the very harmony of infinite intelligence, and prosperity must follow, for the universe rewards resemblance to itself. Step 5. Convert order into magnetism, the law of spiritual prosperity. There comes a moment in every man's journey when knowledge must become demonstration. He has learned to direct thought, to discipline emotion, to systemize action, and to work in harmony with other minds. Yet if he stops here, his work remains incomplete. He is organized, yes, but not yet magnetic. For order without spirit is machinery without current. The final law is to convert order into magnetism, to awaken the power by which all organized energy attracts abundance. The universe is ruled by harmony, and harmony is order in motion. When your mind, heart, habits, and associations move in rhythm, you become a reflection of that universal order. Life, recognizing its likeness in you, hastens to cooperate. Prosperity is not a favor. It is a correspondence. The world gives to you the same precision and balance you maintain within yourself. You have seen magnets lift steel with no visible effort. They do not plead. They do not strain. They attract because their particles are aligned. Each molecule points in the same direction, forming one great current of power. So it is with the mind. The disordered man scatters his thought. The organized man aligns it. His purpose, his emotions, his habits, his alliances all point the same way. This unity creates magnetic force, invisible but undeniable. I have taught for many years that prosperity is not a reward, but a reflection of your inner state. To seek money without order is like demanding fruit from a tree you have not watered. The man who organizes his inner world creates a natural environment for success to grow. Money, influence, peace, and friendship are fruits of the same tree. They ripen only where the roots are nourished by discipline and faith. When Andrew Carnegie planned his vast enterprises, he did not chase wealth. He became worthy of it. His mind was a network of order, his emotions calm, his habits precise, his cooperation harmonious. He aligned himself with the universal current of progress, and wealth flowed to him as water flows to the river's course. He did not fight for prosperity, it obeyed him. You too must reach that state where success ceases to be struggle and becomes demonstration. You must learn to feel wealth before it manifests, to act as one already in possession of peace and plenty. This is not imagination. It is law. The universe, being responsive to vibration, cannot withhold from the man whose inner tone matches the frequency of abundance. To achieve this, begin with mental cleanliness. Remove all thought of envy, complaint, and self-pity. These are rust upon the magnet of your soul. They corrode attraction and reverse the current of good. Replace them with gratitude. Gratitude polishes the mind until it shines like a mirror reflecting infinite intelligence. Each morning and night, list what you are thankful for. As gratitude grows, worry diminishes, and your power to attract increases. I tell you with authority, the man who lives in gratitude lives in prosperity already. For gratitude is faith confirmed. It declares, I trust the law. I see good now, even before it multiplies. The grateful man is magnetic because he vibrates with expectancy. He sees opportunity where others see lack, and his attitude transforms circumstance. When gratitude fills your consciousness, your very presence begins to radiate calm assurance. Others will sense it. They will say, he is fortunate, not knowing that fortune is simply the natural gravity of faith. The magnetic man does not chase success. He stands still and draws it to him. Henry Ford demonstrated this law when he transformed his vision into the motor car. He held a clear image of service to mankind and believed utterly in its fulfillment. Doubt never found residence in his thought. The alignment of his belief created a magnetic field around him. Investors, inventors, and opportunities rushed to join his enterprise. It was not accident. It was resonance. You may think magnetism is mystical. It is not. It is exact. It is the sum of your organized energies vibrating as one harmonious current. Thought gives direction, emotion gives vitality, habit gives rhythm, cooperation gives expansion. When these four are in balance, you radiate the same order that governs stars and seasons. Infinite intelligence recognizes the likeness and entrusts you with greater charge. But magnetism must be guarded. A single day of bitterness, fear, or disorder can dissipate it. You cannot hold a grudge and hold prosperity in the same hand. You cannot curse misfortune and attract blessing. The law demands purity of motive. Prosperity belongs to the man who works for good, not in pretense, but in truth. The selfish may win temporarily, but their gain decays because their current fights itself. To sustain magnetism, practice the discipline of reflection. Each night, review your conduct. Was my thought definite? Was my heart peaceful? Did I act with order? Did I serve others sincerely? Did I express gratitude? This nightly audit strengthens alignment. When you fall short, correct gently and sleep with forgiveness. Even infinite intelligence does not condemn. It adjusts. So must you. Remember also that faith ripened into certainty is the supreme magnet. Faith says, I believe it will come. Certainty says, it is already mine by law. This conviction is the voice of the Creator speaking through your organized mind. When you act in this certainty, hesitation disappears and decisions gain precision. Life responds as a loyal servant to the man who commands without doubt. George Washington embodied this certainty. Surrounded by discouragement, betrayed by allies, outnumbered by foes, he stood tranquil, unmoved by appearances. His serenity was his magnetism. Soldiers drew courage from his calm. Nations drew faith from his endurance. His belief in divine order compelled events to obey. When your mind reaches this steadiness, you will attract all that harmonizes with it. People will seek you, not for what you have, but for what you are. Your confidence will comfort them. Your discipline will inspire them. You will become, without effort, the axis around which lesser minds find order. That is true leadership, silent, magnetic, beneficent. Now let us speak of the spiritual dimension of prosperity. Wealth, when rightly understood, is not the possession of things, but the demonstration of law. You are richest not when you accumulate, but when you align. To own the consciousness of abundance is greater than to hold gold. For gold can be lost, but order within cannot. It reproduces prosperity wherever you go. The man who has organized his inner world has found God's method of creation. He thinks clearly, feels nobly, acts orderly, and lives harmoniously with others. This alignment is prayer without words. When thought, feeling, action, and cooperation unite, the divine finds perfect channel for expression. Through such a man, God acts. And what form does that divine action take? Prosperity, peace, progress, and influence. The man becomes a living conduit of creation, an open door through which infinite intelligence manifests its goodness. He has ceased to struggle because he has ceased to resist law. Yet beware of pride at this stage. Magnetism invites recognition, and recognition tempts vanity. The moment you believe yourself the source of power rather than its instrument, the current falters. Remember always, you are the steward, not the owner, of the forces that pass through you. Give credit to the source, and the source will continue its supply. Let us pause for a moment of practical instruction. To convert order into magnetism, perform this daily exercise. Upon waking, affirm quietly, order within me attracts order without. I am guided by infinite intelligence in all I do. Visualize yourself as a radiant center of calm power. Imagine opportunities drawn toward you as iron filings to a magnet. Feel gratitude for them before they appear. End the day repeating, prosperity obeys my calm direction. These affirmations may seem simple, yet their repetition engraves truth upon the subconscious. The mind, once convinced of harmony, transmits that vibration continuously, even in sleep. The next morning you awaken already tuned to success. Let us examine again the visible signs of the magnetic man. He does not hurry, for he trusts law. His eyes are clear, his tone steady. He neither flatters nor begs, for his dignity commands respect. In his presence, others feel peace, as though standing before order itself. They may not understand the cause, but they respond instinctively, eager to assist. His prosperity extends beyond money. Health improves, friendships deepen, ideas flow freely. Why? Because magnetism draws not only wealth, but all forms of good. It is the law of resemblance, like attracts like. The organized mind attracts organized results. The grateful heart attracts further blessing. The peaceful spirit attracts peace. It was this law that guided Carnegie when he said, "I resolved to stop worrying and to fill my mind with faith." That decision aligned his energies with abundance. From that day, he ceased to chase fortune. Fortune chased him. He had converted order into magnetism, discipline into power, and faith into wealth. I tell you, the difference between the prosperous and the poor lies not in opportunity, but in vibration. The poor live in disorder, their thoughts divided, their emotions ungoverned, their habits irregular. The prosperous live in harmony, their inner world reflecting cosmic order. They have become instruments through which infinite intelligence plays the music of success. To maintain this state, cultivate inner quietude. Silence is the womb of power. Each day, withdraw from noise and sit in stillness. Feel the pulse of life beating within and around you. Know that you are not a fragment apart from creation, but a cell within the body of God. From this realization flows humility, peace, and unshakable faith. When you rise from such communion, carry its calm into every act. Speak softly, act deliberately, think constructively. Your words will begin to shape reality, not by magic, but by law. For the spoken word of the organized mind is command to the subconscious, and the subconscious, being creative, must obey. Now I give you the final affirmations of magnetism. Order within me attracts order without. My faith is organization in motion. I am grateful, therefore I am abundant. Prosperity obeys my calm direction. Infinite intelligence acts through me now. Let these words become your breath. Repeat them until belief replaces recitation. Then all the world will seem to conspire on your behalf, not because it has changed, but because you have. At this stage, you will no longer seek prosperity. You will radiate it. People will call you blessed, fortunate, chosen, but you will know the truth. You have merely aligned your being with the design of the Creator. You have found peace and order, power and harmony, and wealth and gratitude. Each night before sleep, review the system you have built. Ask yourself, was my thought clear? Was my emotion calm? Were my habits orderly? Did I serve in cooperation? Did I give thanks? If you can answer yes, you have fulfilled law, and law never fails. You will awaken to a life where events unfold with rhythm, where what you need arrives at the moment you require it, where obstacles become instruction, and where peace remains unbroken. This is not miracle. It is mathematics. Order attracts order. I say to you with final certainty, when man organizes his mind, he enters partnership with infinite intelligence. He becomes both channel and creator, receiver and giver. Through him, God acts in the world. The measure of his prosperity is the measure of his alignment. So organize your mind, discipline your heart, systemize your habits, unite with your fellows, and then stand still in faith. You will see what others call miracle, but what I call law fulfilled. And when they ask the secret of your serenity and success, tell them simply, I have organized my mind and God has done the rest.